trips to the store become adventures in a strange new world. And as with any new adventure, there are highs and there are lows. There are good and there's not so good. There is excitement and there is inevitably letdowns. I must confess that personally, June has been a month of tears for me. Tears of joy, tears of sadness, tears of anger, frustration, hope. No doubt for some of you, maybe even most of you, June has been a month of tears as well. Might we even say that 2020 thus far has been a year of tears? When was the last time you had a difficult decision to make or felt it necessary to have a hard conversation? Think back. It probably didn't take too long, or you didn't have to go too far back in the past to come up with a hard conversation or a difficult decision that needed to be made. The year of 2020 has been, at the very least, a year of hard or difficult conversations. Let's look back. In January, brush fires run rampant through Australia. The World Health Organization is notified of the coronavirus. Unrest once again arises in Iraq and Iran at the death of leaders. China records its first coronavirus death. An impeachment trial began. The first U.S. coronavirus case is diagnosed. The death of Kobe Bryant and 7 others in a helicopter crash. The UK withdraws from the European Union. There is a political ramp-up in February, and in March, Italy becomes the first country on lockdown. Then March 13th. On March 13th, the Diocese of North Carolina closed all church buildings. Following that, the Dow dropped to its lowest in 30 years. The Summer Olympics and so many other events have either been canceled or postponed. In April, the state of New York had more virus cases than any other country in the world. On May 25th, our nation watched a man take his last breath while crying for help. On May 26th, the protests began. On June 6th, ordination happened. And we find ourselves here today on June 28th. Many difficult conversations, situations, occurrences. For the world, for our country, and for our communities. A time, a year of tears. A year thus far marked by hardships, scarcity, fear, and frustration. In looking back, it is clear that we're all faced with difficult conversations, hard decisions. In reading the gospel lessons each week, something interesting has occurred to me. At the center of our gospel lessons from past weeks, difficult conversations and hard decisions have been our focus. Jesus is confronting his world with hard sayings. Very important words, and then most assuredly important words for us today. Let us listen intentionally to Jesus' words. On June 7th, go. Go into the world. Go and baptize. Go and bless. Go teach others. Go. Go obey what I have said. Go. Go and make disciples. Go do not be here physically, but I will remain with you spiritually, emotionally. I will be with you when you go. The following Sunday, Jesus says, "See, I am sending you out like sheep into the midst of wolves. Go. So be wise as serpents, innocent as doves. Beware, for some will hand you over to councils and flog you in their synagogues. And you will be dragged before governors and kings because of me, as a testimony to them and to the Gentiles. Now go." These are hard words for Jesus to speak, and probably even harder words for his disciples to hear. I imagine they might be thinking, "Jesus, this is not the job I signed up for. This is not what I thought this season of life was going to look like." Familiar words for us. The next Sunday, last Sunday, Jesus says, "Everyone, therefore, who acknowledges me before others, I also will acknowledge before my Father in heaven. But whoever denies me before others, I also will deny before my Father in heaven. Do not think that I have come to bring peace to earth. I have not come to bring peace, but a sword. For I have come to set a man against his father, a daughter against his mother, a daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law. And one's foes will be members of one's own household. Whoever loves father or mother more than me is not worthy of me. Whoever loves son or daughter more than me is not worthy of me. And whoever does not take up the cross and follow me is not worthy of me. Those who find their life will lose it, and those who lose their life for my sake will find it." These words, they're even harder than the previous words. Jesus is saying some will be denied heaven, that he did not come to bring peace, but a sword. Man will be set against father, daughter against mother. Whoever loves son or daughter more than me is not worthy of me. Jesus, this is really hard to hear. This makes no sense. Love your neighbor but with a sword? How am I to read these words? How are we to understand what Jesus is saying? Jesus, I have 2 daughters. And whoever loves son or daughter more than me is not worthy of me. These words are suffocating for me. These words make it hard to find hope and joy and peace and love. And then today, whoever welcomes you welcomes me. And whoever welcomes me welcomes the one who sent me. Whoever welcomes a prophet in the name of a prophet will receive a prophet's reward. And whoever welcomes a righteous person in the name of a righteous person will receive the reward of the righteous. And whoever even gives a cold cup of water to one of these little ones in the name of a disciple, truly I tell you, none of these will lose their reward. Did you catch that? Did you hear it? Jesus says right here, all those hard conversations, all of those difficult moments, all of those tears that have been shed, that we have experienced, in the face of that, Jesus says, welcome. Welcome because you have heard my words and obeyed. Welcome because you welcomed another here have some cold water. You offer respite to another. I now offer it to you. Sit down, beloved. Sit down and rest and be welcomed. You loved the other. You are now free. My friends, this is the hope in the hard conversation. When we are called to speak truth in love to one another, the love of Jesus flows through us and releases us from the burden of the hard moment. When we lose ourselves in the welcoming of the love of Jesus, when we go and make disciples with love, when we stand with Jesus, we can stand with others without fear. We can take on the difficult conversations. We can say and do the difficult things. When we go with the welcoming love of Jesus, we will be set free from the fear of speaking the words that we need to say. These words will come from our hearts. The Spirit will give us what we need when there is pain, even in the face of great suffering, and most assuredly, when our conversations get difficult. The Spirit can and does give us the words. But the Spirit can also tune us in and shut our mouths. If we welcome with love, we understand that the difficult conversations only matter when we are able to hear the words of the other. How often are we thinking, how do I respond, instead of just listening? How often are we still and present to where our feet are planted? Part of the fundamental process to progress is learning to understand. Voices only matter if we are willing to hear them. When we are faced with a difficult conversation, we want to respond. Perhaps the best response comes with no words. Perhaps the best response is waiting to hear what is being said, to breathe in those words of the other, to listen and to hear, to think